January 7th, 2026, and this is Johanna Rosalyn. I'm a visual artist and educator. I'm coming to you from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and it's a beautiful, snowy, sunny day today. We got some snow last night. I went out for a beautiful walk this morning with my dog Maple, my rescue girl, which I'll show some videos of her. And I thought for my second video, I might show you a little bit about the process of how I paint my positive, negative paintings. This is in my sketchbook, so keep in mind my sketchbook is a place for me to play and explore ideas. It's not a perfect spot. This paper is not watercolor paper, it warps. But again, it's about really just finding a way to really explore ideas. And so I laid down some of these colors already this morning. And the idea behind it was to stick sort of with a cooler color scheme. Although here I am coming in with this pretty beam paint, which is almost like a lemony color, like a sorbet, lemon sorbet. I'm sure it has a name, but I don't have the name here on this. So I thought I'd also talk a little bit about the materials that I like to use. For watercolors, I have a vast variety of paints that I have been saving and using over the years. Being a former early childhood educator and owning a studio for a few years where I taught classes, I really got in the habit of saving interesting papers that would come my way, and just basically saving things over time, because, you never know when you might use it. Right now I'm using beam paints, and beam paints are a beautiful company. They are based out of Manitoulin Island in Ontario. Their paints are handmade, and many of their metallic paints are used with ethically sourced materials. They're an Indigenous owned company, and they are lovely, lovely quality paints. I have quite a few. Some, as you can see, this one is well loved. There's a big, deep sort of actual well in the middle of it. This one's called Timber Wolf Gray. So you can go to their website and purchase these products. And sometimes they have free shipping, so you can keep in mind. Just lovely, lovely. Sometimes they'll also have sort of seconds sales. This was a second. It wasn't good enough for them to sell full retail, so they put it on sale, and they will do that. And I had actually asked if I put a request. I didn't think I might get it, but I asked if you have any products, colors that are blue. I wanted to just play around with blues, and they sent me these. I think this one too, because the wood had split. It doesn't matter to me. I still love it. Sometimes I use other materials too. I'll use other paints. I have sets that I've had for a really long time. This is a Van Gogh set that I've probably had for upwards of 20 years. And I really, really love some of the vibrant colors that are here. I also use a very basic set. This is Mongoyo. Can be purchased online. I think I got these at Desserts. It's a Canadian art store. There's one in Halifax. I got these there. And these are really nice little basic set, which I often use when I'm teaching beginning adult classes. So I've laid down my color here, and I just wanted to show how I do that. Again, there's not always like a big rhyme or reason of how I do it or why or what's going down. It's very intuitive. It's very much about how I'm feeling, and I try not to be too precious about it. This is my underpainting. So eventually this was wet and I stuck it together. Again, I'm not precious about my sketchbook. This is my underpainting, and eventually I'm going to play with the idea of positive negative space. I will conceal a lot of that with white and only have what I want to stand out. So this is, I'm just going to kind of do a little bit of a touch test. It's fairly dry. And so I might play around a bit more, but just for the sake of showing next steps, I think I'm going to just show you using a pencil where this might go for the next step. So in this case, I'm drawing a bit of a branch with a leaf, a little bit of a twig, and I'm thinking about the outline and the shape versus details inside of the leaf and the twigs. And that's the big difference with positive and negative space art, is that when you are drawing your piece, you're focusing on the space around it, and not the details inside of it. So really thinking about the outline of what you're drawing, the shape of what you are drawing. It's a really nice way to isolate a subject and to simplify and not have something that's so busy. And so I know that a lot of this will be concealed with white paint eventually. So that is basically how I would start my piece here. The next steps would be to go in with some white acrylic paint. So I have that here on a palette. I picked up this palette. It's just a ceramic dish, and I picked it up at Value Village. There was a whole bunch of them for sale in the kitchen area, and I love them, and they can be washed off. Other times people I've seen, they just use like lids of jars. And you can get really nice stuff, and you can also use what you have. And so I'm just going to show you here. I'm not going to fill in the whole page because that will take a long time. But I just wanted to show you the beginning stages of what this looks like and how I do it. So here we go. We're just filling in the negative space to reveal the positive shape of my branches and my twigs. And this would take a while if I wanted to get the full page covered. So I won't film all of that, but I just want to show you sort of that beginning process and how you can start to see the twigs and branches emerging. And, how some of it is being concealed. It's an interesting process to see what is revealed and what is concealed. And this is like a really nice example of process-based art where, as the artist, I'm engaged with what's happening, and I'm really open to what happens, like to some of it being almost out of my hands a little bit. Like I'm not over planning it. I'm not overthinking about it. Some of the things that are happening are just happening right in front of my eyes as I paint. And so here's like this leaf really starting to come out. And I love how the white paint allows for these leaves and twigs that I drew in to really stand out, really emerge. And so I might, spend a bit of time filling in this whole piece with white, like the background, the negative space. And that would take some time, but I just wanted to show you sort of the beginning stages of that. I might go back and start playing after with more color. I might say, hey, this needs like a pop of pink in here, and add in a little bit more. It just really depends on that process and where it takes me. So I hope you've enjoyed this short little demo today, and I'll be back more often with new ideas, sharing inspiration, talking a little bit more about process and adding fun elements to your art. I hope that you have a fantastic day. Thanks so much for joining me.